unfuckwithableness. Everybody say unfuckwithableness. Okay? Say that for you, Matthew Wilson. Okay? That's who you're going to become. But you're going to make these mistakes along the way, and most likely you've already made them, so you're going to be able to identify them. Okay? Michael Koloff, you're going to be able to identify them. Okay? So I want you guys to take a look at this real quick. Let's get into number one. Okay? Number one. The mistake most salespeople make is they not qualifying their customers. They're not qualifying their prospects, and they're wasting a lot of time. Let me explain this to you. I had some guys in my dealership, they overqualified the customer. They overqualified him. This could go both ways. When I say not qualifying the customer, what I mean is you're not asking good questions. Write that down, good questions. You're not figuring out how to get the customer to talk about themselves. You're not designing your client profile in your head of who they are, where they work, what kind of typical budget could a person in their demographic be able to afford. Like, you're not designing, you're not playing it out. You're not playing it out. What would this person do if I offered them a $1,000 payment and they're making $30,000 a month? Probably not going to freaking happen. What would this person do if it's a $2,500 fitness package and they make $75,000 a year? We most likely could do something with this person. But are you asking good enough questions? Asking questions, write this down. Do I have heart behind my questions? Do I have empathy behind my questions? Do I show the client that I'm actually on their side and I want to help them win? When I'm asking questions, Cherish, I'm asking questions to form an alliance with my customer. I'm not asking questions just to fucking ask questions, guys. You got to ask questions to form an alliance. You want to start to go deeper. You want to figure out all of the things that are important to them, all the things that are important to their family. You want to start to discover all that. Now, here's the thing. Clients come up with their guard up. No matter what you're selling, they're always going to have their guard up. The way that you start to break that wall down is you have tactical questions that get them to talk about themselves. If you're a salesperson that's always talking about yourself, you're never going to win. You have to make other people feel special, Paul Sharp. You're going to have to do that, okay? So, qualify your prospects the right way. Have a good discovery process where you're figuring out, typically what they can afford. What kind of price are they looking for? What kind of things have they bought like your product in the past? These are some things that are really good, okay? If they drive up in a car, let me give you an example in the car business, because this was an easy one for me to get people to talk about themselves. If they drove up in a car, here's what most amateur car salesmen would do. Right when the customers get out, number one, they don't talk to the wife, which is the biggest mistake. They just talk and bro down with the husband when they don't realize in a relationship who makes the decisions. Who makes the decisions? Who makes the decisions? Go on ahead and put it in the chat so we can let all the salespeople know that make the mistake of broing down with the husband and not getting the wife's name, not talking to the kids and getting them involved in the deal is actually probably one of the most important things that you could do in the deal. But I talk to but what most amateur salespeople do is they bro down with the husband. They get right into running out on the car lot and try, okay, you're looking for a Pathfinder. Okay, what are you thinking about? Blah blah blah. And they go so fast and they go right out to the lot and start selling cars. Stop. What I would do is ask them, hey, before we go out and take a look at this car, it's called the Trade Bridge. Before we go out and take a look at this stuff, can you tell me real quick? Can you tell me this question? What are you thinking about trading in? Is this car that you just drove up in? Okay. Can you tell me what you like about this car? Can you tell me what you don't like about it? I got 400 cars out on the lot. We're going to go out and look at them all. But so that way I can better serve you, let me ask you a few questions. Are you going to use this car to commute back and forth to work? I know that question sounds just basic, but they're going to say yes 9 out of 10 times. And if they say no, maybe it's a work truck or maybe they don't have a job, we want to know that. But if they say yes, I'm going to say, great, what do you do for work? Okay, I'm a doctor. Okay, ring, ding, ding, a ding, ding. Okay, this guy makes some good money. He's probably doing some good stuff. Nice, man. And I'm going to talk to him about medical school. I'm going to talk to him about what he did, how he grew up, like why did he choose this. I'm going to start to divert the conversation away from the product that they came to look at. Most salespeople, they get right to the product and they don't build the rapport early on. They don't build the alliance. You have to build the alliance early on. The best salespeople in the world don't even... I'm going to be honest with you guys. I barely even know the product. I barely even know cars. I'm going to be real. I never did an oil change. I don't know shit about Bluetooth and Apple CarPlay. I don't know. But what I do know people. I do know people. I do know what the patterns that people move in. I do know how to make people feel special. I do know how to identify a problem and figure out and guide them the right way, ethically, responsibly, and put them on something that they can afford, that they're going to like. I do know how to build a relationship where they loved what they did, or they love buying from me and they always come back to me. I do know how to do that. And I do know the basics of product, but I'll tell you one thing. Most salespeople, they don't qualify, they don't figure out what's important to the client within the product or the program. They don't know what's important to the wife, the husband, the people making the decision. So when I'm saying qualifying them, it's not all about money. It's the needs. It's the needs analysis, man. What's going to be important to you? Have you been in a coaching program before? You ever invested money in life insurance before? You ever had what is it, man? Like, tell me real quick. Okay? And then, as you do that, you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting theirs. Everybody got me? Say I. Okay? I. All right. Next thing. Okay? Why is this important to qualify? If you're asking the right questions, you can ensure. I want you guys to take a screenshot of this. You're making sure you're actually giving them what they want, right? I want to give you an example. If you wanted to go show $1 million house, but you went to go show $1 million house, but they can only afford a $600,000 house, did you just waste their time? Yes. Let's not do that. Okay. Let's be able to get right to the point and figure out if they've shopped at and looked around at houses before. Let's figure out if they know what a kind of a down payment looks like on this house. Let's sit down and actually have a discussion where we meet common ground. Okay, mistake number 2, calculating your commissions too early. Who's ever done this before? You have a big package, you're like, damn, dude. You're like, oh man, this is gonna change my month. This is gonna change my life. You go to the desk, you get a deal. You're like, man, this is a $1,000 deal. You got freaking $800 in your account. You got $500. Maybe you're negative. Maybe the credit card. Maybe the old credit companies are calling you. And then what happens? You start to calculate your commissions too early. I had a sales guy in my dealership. He would put the appointments on the sales board as sold deals. And he would spin himself out. We would walk in on like the 7th of the month and he'd have like 18 cars out. And I'm like, there's no way there's no way that he's beat me. There's no way. And every month he would do the same thing. And I would go up there and he'd be like, oh yeah, no, those two people, they're coming in tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a fat deal. And then every month he was always on like suicide watch because the deals didn't work out. And I'm like, yeah, bro, because you also have commission breath. You sound desperate. You're like calculating your wins before the wins happen. And then some people, they go to sleep on the win, which really makes them, messed up. It's like, sell it, get to your bonus, do the work, win real quick, and then move the freak on. That's what sales is great for, because you have to move on every single month. You start back at 0. But here's what I know. If you are calculating your commissions too early, you're going to sell with a certain level of desperateness. Anybody like desperate people? First, two things about being desperate. It is really good to be desperate in a way where you're desperate for the next level. You're desperate for becoming a different person or a different life. It's really like that word is a good word in the right sense. But if you put off like a desperate, like I need this commission, I need this deal really bad, I need this phone number of this girl because I don't talk to any girls ever, and I just found this one beautiful one. Dude, she's going to sense that shit from a mile away, bro. You need to be a Casanova. Maybe you need to fill your pipeline with a couple of them, okay? Just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. Don't get me started on that. But all I'm saying is make sure when you do a deal, don't calculate your commissions too early. Don't sound too freaking desperate. It is the biggest thing that you could do that would turn the customer off. Okay? Now, let me get into this. Mistake number 3, avoiding tough questions. Okay? Avoiding tough questions. I know so many people that don't want to ask the real questions that are going to come up in the deal. Let me give you an example. If you know that the wife is going to make a decision, if you know that it's important to have the wife there on the deal, but you never ask what's important to them, you never ask if they've made a decision like this before, how are you going to get to the bottom of it? How are you going to figure it out? Right? Like, have you ever, if you know that they've got some financing, but you've never asked what their interest rate is because you don't want to know it until the end, or you want the finance department to handle it, or you want to wait till something comes up at the end, it's stupid. If you feel like there's something that you need to ask it. Don't fear tough questions. They lead to real answers. I want you to write that down. Don't fear the tough questions. They're going to lead you to the real answers. Difficult questions are essential. Tough questions always lead to important information and breakthrough in the deal. I want you to write that down. Okay? I want you to write this action item down. Be bold. Always ask the difficult questions. Bring clarity to the situation. You know, I find that you bond the most when you actually are asking the tough questions. Think about it like as a parent. Parents are often like scared to ask tough questions with their kids. Like who they're hanging out with, what the heck is going on in their life. You know, and it always leads to like mistrust or issues later on. Why wouldn't we just get to know that kind of right now? Why wouldn't we figure out where their head's at, where their headspace is at right now? Well, because a lot of the times we don't want to know. Okay? I think it's funny that, you know, people will get into relationships with somebody. Imagine this. Imagine my wife, Jacqueline. Both of us, we have one baby on the way. We've got 2 other kids. Like, dude, kids are like my thing, man. I freaking love kids. Uncle Evan, you guys bring your kids around me. I got coloring books. I got little race cars in my drawer. They always run into my office because, man, like, I love kids. And I also know if kids come into the lines, and just like I teach you guys, when I was at the car lot, I always had like a toy chest near my office because kids are always third baseman in the deal. You know, like if the kids are misbehaving or freaking out, you know, the parents are like, fuck, we got to go home, man. Or the parents start fighting. So I'm always aligned with the kids. Same thing with my clients that walk in here. I make sure to get them on my side, you know. But what if I didn't like kids and she loved kids? What if I never wanted to have kids and then we didn't talk about it until after the marriage? And then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, it's time to have some kids. And she's like, kids? Why the hell would we have kids? I'm not having them, or I'm like, why? I'm saying that, but she's like, no, I'm not having kids. I don't believe in that. Guys, do you think that we should get some alignment early on? You think that we should have probably talked about that? Do you think we should probably figure that out? I see so many salespeople that might be having an inventory issue or something going on. Let's talk about inventory for a minute. You know, or install dates on things or deliverables. And instead of giving the client transparency up front, they wait to the end of the deal until it's fully signed up until they want to give transparency. I find it weird. I'm okay with saying, hey, listen, you're going to, look, by the way, I've got plenty of these cars coming in. I'm going to get them hyped. I'm going to get them excited. And throughout the process, I can talk to them about some of the hard things that are going to happen further, that are going to happen in the deal. That's going to build trust. If I know that I'm selling and installing solar panels and the install's 2 months out, why wouldn't I start to build? Or maybe I know it's 2 months out, but I tell them it's 3 months, and I make them aware that that's normal, right? Like a lot of the times I see in solar, it's like they're always breaking bad news to people, and it's like they don't just let them know, hey, here's exactly how this is going to work. And then, by the way, give some buffer room. If your install date's 2 months, tell them it's going to be 3, and tell them that's normal in solar. Right? Why are we acting like it's like weird and then we have to call with bad news with the customers? Every time I did that, I lost massive trust. So I would rather be bold and handle shit early. Everybody say be bold. Handle it early. Now I'm not saying just drop the bad news. I like to catch people in conversation, not where it's all formal and I'm sitting down and I'm like, by the way, just to let you know, we're not going to be able to install those panels until 3 months from now. I'm like, dude, it's no big deal, Paul. Hey, look, man, so glad that we're getting ready to do this thing. By the way, most of my clients were having an install date of 90 days, pretty average. Actually, most installs in the country are usually taking about 120 to 160, so we're kicking some butt. We're going to get this thing locked in. Until then, I'm going to stop back by, in a couple of weeks from now just to check up, make sure everything's going good, paperwork's smooth, the loan's approved, all that good stuff. And then up until the 90 days, I'm going to walk the dog. Everybody write this damn word down. Walk the dog. Walk the dog. Walk the dog. If your deliverables 90 days out from now, your install, the time the car lands on the ground, let me give you the analogy. Imagine your dog, you got to go walk the dog in the morning. You live in a big apartment complex, and you got to walk the dog. Do you want the dog to take a shit? Yeah, you don't want him pooping in the house, Paul. So imagine he's got to poop over here. The house is over here. Well, he's going to pee on the tree here. He's going to pee on the tree here. He's going to pee on the tree here. And then he's going to take a poop right there. Or he's going to take a poop right there on Ian's face. Well, he might take 3 pees to get there, Cherish. My follow-up is the same way, Jackson. I'm going to give them 3, 4, 5 follow-up calls leading up until when the deliverable is going to be met. when the install date's going to happen, when the car lands on the ground. Most amateur salespeople, they don't do that. And then they wonder why the customers are cold and they have chargebacks and they're like bitching and whining and their momentum goes through the trash because they simply didn't walk the dog and they didn't have the difficult questions. It's super easy, Joseph Giovanni. Mistake number 4. Gosh, with social media, this will be your biggest problem. Now, some of us, let me just explain something to you right now. Before I get into this, I'm going to explain how I deal with hate because me and, hey, how do I say your name? I don't want to mess it up. Come off of mute.
Shraddha.
Shraddha? Okay, she's one of my diehards, bro. I'm just telling you guys, if you ever become one of my haters, Shraddha will annihilate you in my comments. Just telling you. And a lot of our clients, man, they stick up for us, man. They know how we are. They know how much heart we have. In the car business, it was the same way. I built such a good brand over years that people would almost fight my battles for me. Dude, totally cool with that. I just don't want you to put all your energy into some of these negative people in the world, right? Like some of these people, you can't fix stupid, and they're going to be judgmental, and they're going to have problems. It's so funny in the coaching space right now, or in really any space, but in the coaching space or personal development space, I see so many coaches jump online, and they're talking shit about what you need to qualify to be able to help other people. And if you haven't built, $150 million business, your value is nothing and you can't help other people. Bullshit. I think all of you guys are meant to help other people. There's somebody that might be 2 or 3 steps behind you that if you just turned around and help them out, you can help them and you can push them and you can motivate them. You've all been through unique experiences that could help somebody. But so many people are just bashing other people right now, and I really think it's because they're jealous of them. And I really think it's because deep down, they're not happy, so they want to make other people unhappy. I think you got to put your blinders on with these people. You got to recognize them, and you got to put your blinders on, and you got to keep moving forward. You're going to deal with haters, especially when you go to do big stuff and you start putting your message out there. If other people aren't winning or not successful, they're going to jump online and bash you. I don't have the time to jump online and bash people. I'm always busy, Junior. I got stuff going on. I'm winning. I'm too busy winning. The haters aren't busy winning. The haters are busy in the comments. The haters are busy being broke. Right? The haters are the fans in the stands talking shit to the people in the game. You ever go to a Laker game or something like that, and there's like some 5'2" little white guy up in the crowd? Like, if I was LeBron, I'd have dunked it on his ass. He's a piece of shit. He's this. You're like, bro, you're 5'2". You can't touch the net. This guy is a 6'8" savage. He's played in the league 21 years. I'm sure you're not going to hit the game-winning shot, bro. Why don't you sit down and let the big boys handle it? Okay? You guys got to understand, as you go to get big and put your message out there online, there's going to be people coming for you. It's going to happen. I get people all day long messaging bullshit. But then you know what? On the other end of it, I get the people all day long that are messaging me the beautiful breakthroughs they're having, the life transformations they're having. Right? Like the demons that they're beating, the vices that they're killing, the money that they're making, the just the overall human experience that they're increasing. That outweighs the hate to me. And by the way, it's 10-1 in the DMs. The DMs are where I actually get the love. That's where most of the love comes through. It's the messages from my great clients like Cherish or people that are winning, Giovanni. It's me seeing Giovanni at an event with his family, and him walking up with a really thoughtful present to Andy and Jackie and talking about how his whole family, and seeing the look on his wife's face. You can't fake sincerity. So screw what other people are saying, guys. Say screw them. Screw them. Screw them. Look, handle haters like this. Just say fuck them and keep moving on. If they're not massively successful, which massively successful people don't talk a lot of shit about other people, then move on. They're probably jealous. They got problems, and everybody's dealing with something. Now, on the other end of it, think about this. I want to try to be less critical of people. I want to try not to bash the competition, even in my normal conversation. What I've realized is me being a hyper-aware person, as you do a lot of personal development, you might become hypercritical of other people's processes. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. I heard a quote that changed my life, and it said, it was a speaker, and she said, you got to look for the God in everybody. But more importantly, they have to be able to see the God in you. Think about that quote for a second. Look at the God in everybody. If you're a team leader on here, and sometimes you feel burnt out because your team's not doing what you tell them to do, you're pouring a lot into them, you're like, why aren't they getting it? Why aren't they getting it? Whoa, just chill for a second. Did you pray for a team? Did you pray for a leadership position? It's not going to be easy, dude. But do you see the God in somebody? Do you realize that they may just need your help, or maybe you need to come at them at a different angle? Okay, and more importantly, do they see the God in you? Do they see the intentions that you have? Do you wear your heart on your sleeve? Are you being patient? Are you teaching them every day? It's the same with your kids. It's the same with the people around you. It's the same with your nephews and nieces. It's the same shit. So chill on bashing people. What I know is that criticizing competitors makes you look insecure. Instead, focus on your own strengths and values. Look, man, if I'm at the car lot and they're like, dude, this store does this, I'm like, man, totally get it, man. Hey, their pricing, I get why they do their pricing like that. They do a really good job. But here's our strengths. Here's our values. We're family owned. We've been here for 65 years. I'm going to have 3 or 4 bullets in my gun that I can unload. Here's why our pricing policy is the best. Here's how we do things. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. Well, here's what they said about you. Whoa, chill. I don't care. It's no big deal. You know, I love my people, but every once in a while, I'll get one of my team members or one of my clients that send me a message. Oh, Baller Buster said this. This person said this about Andy. And I go, bro, I don't give a shit. And neither does Andy. When you're going to go do big shit, the devil will come for you. At different levels, there's really big time different devils. There's going to be more people pulling on your legs as you come from out of the shadow. It's no big deal. I don't give a shit what any of them say. What do I think about myself? What kind of security do I have in my heart? Think about you. When I'm talking about me, I want you to think about you. Think about the people that are hating on you in your life. Do you fall in their trap, or do you set the traps? I set the traps. Okay? They're in my content. I slowed them down. They're watching my shit. I'm not watching. I don't even know who they are. And they're coming to my page and they don't even follow me. That means every day they got to go type in my name. And then they got to look at my shit. They're like, oh, he sucks. I would never handle it that way. It's like, bro, cool. Okay, so I want you guys to think about this. Take a picture. Instead of trashing your competitors, emphasize what sets you apart and aligns with the client's needs. Underline the client's needs. You got to emphasize what sets you apart, but make sure it's tailored to what they're looking for. And believe it and have conviction behind it, Jose Rodriguez. Have conviction behind it. You know, that's going to be the thing that they can feel, okay? Love your in it. Look at what this says. I love this. Respect the competition, but highlight your unique value proposition. I don't even call them enemies. Competitors, enemies, whatever you want, man. Patrick Bet-David says choose your enemies. Like, choose your enemies and, like, attack it. Like, understand. Like, in my heart, I know the people that I want to take out. I know the people who doubted me, and I use that energy. It may not be the most healthiest thing, but I'll pick a couple people in my head that always said that I wouldn't amount to shit, and that'll drive me on the days where I don't want to do something, Junior Frederick. That'll drive me. It'll drive you. It's okay to do that, but we don't need to voice it. Let's leave it internally, and let's get a little stirred up and pissed off today. Okay? Number 5, over-promising. Don't over-promise. Deliver on what you can. How many times, guys, have you been in a sales process, somebody says they're going to do something, or you as a business owner, one of your salespeople runs in, man, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and you're asking them to do something, and they're like, I'll do even more. It's like, dude, just give me what I need. Like, just give me what I need, right? Don't overpromise if there's something that you can't do. There were several times in my career where I overpromised some things, and it created problems with the customer. Okay? It's super, super, super important that you never do this, because what'll happen is then, you know, you talk to one person, talk to another. It's not worth it, okay? So I want you to write this down. What overpromising does is what you can do about it. Number 1, overpromising leads to disappointment. We know that. Be realistic with your clients so you can gain their long-term trust. Overpromising to win a deal can backfire when the thing that you said you were going to deliver backfires. Okay? Under-promise and over-deliver. You know, I've made it my mission, man. I've made it my mission I've got several clients who've been with me and they do a lot with me. I have a top 50 client list. I'm making it a mission that when these guys that are on my list that I've gotten really close to, Jose Rodriguez, for example, he's in my private group that I do private mentorship with. I mean this in the most polite way possible. I'm gonna fuck Jose up with value. To the point where when he shows up in a room, he's gonna tell people, dude, that my coach is the craziest, most freaking committed coach I've ever seen in my entire life. It's gonna give him chills when he talks about what I'm gonna do for him and what I did in his life. I'm gonna give him, from the very second, from today, when he sees what shows up in the mail, when he sees what happens, when he sees what I do for him and his family, he's gonna be like, bro, I've never been treated this way. I've never been treated this way. I've never, from day one. Also, from the very first second my setter talked to him, he should have already felt like he got the value because that person's trained by me. And that person set the appointment, which is Mike Kiwarga, for him to join my inner circle. The way Mike talks, the way Mike believes, the stories Mike tells. Mike is trained by me. He should be able to move him to make a decision, which he did. I'm giving you an example, a real life example on how if you've got a team, your team should talk, right? But then when Jose gets on with me, I'm going to do stuff that makes myself look different. I'm going to do stuff where my delivery is better than he could imagine. How do you do that with your clients? Well, from the very first interaction, you should set the standard that you are different. You guys also got to get creative. Get creative. Like, figure out little things that are going to separate you from the competition. Things that they're not doing. Okay, number 6, celebrating too early. Who's ever done this? Okay? You guys ever seen that video of one of the Olympians or something, and I think it was Michael Phelps when he won by like an inch. Like the guy was looking over, and he celebrated too early, and then that's how he got his ass kicked. Most salespeople, they should avoid celebrating early because it'll kill your momentum. Okay, look at this. Not too fast. Look, he celebrated too early. He fumbled on the 1 yard line. Fumble on the 1 yard line. The sale isn't final until the money is in the bank. Don't start celebrating prematurely. Don't look at this guy. He does a flip, lands at the 1 yard line, fumbles the ball. How embarrassing. Anybody ever been there in sales? Okay. Remember this slide. Don't be like this guy. Don't be like this person. Look at this. Eye off the ball, eye off the prize for a second, puts her hands up, and look at this girl beats her. Acting like the deal is closed before you ink it can lead to complacency and lost sales. If you sell things with higher commissions, or you've made good money, or say you hit your target for the month, and you start acting like you've made it, or maybe your business is in a spot. Maybe it's not just one particular sale. Maybe it's where your business is at, and I want you to write this word down. If you're successful on this call and you're making pretty good money, and you feel like you have a good life, but you don't have a great life, or you don't have an unstoppable life. Maybe you're living a level 5 or 6 life, but you want to live a level 10 life. Double down your extreme. Andy always told me every single time I was stuck at a level, say when I was trying to do $300,000 or $400,000 in revenue for the month in my coaching business. That was a while ago. Andy would say, if you want to get to $600,000 or $700,000 a month in generated revenue, what you're going to have to do is double down the extreme when you first were trying to go to 100. How much money were you investing? How much time were you investing? How much coaching were you doing? How much speaking were you doing? How much time were you focused on your skill set, your mindset? When you went to 100,000 in revenue a month, you were putting in a lot more time into the business because you were a lot more desperate, right? You were working on your physical health even more, so you had the discipline, right? Think about it for a second. Whatever level you're at, can you double down the extreme? Or do you have an unhealthy attachment with the $20,000 you have in the bank, the $5,000 you have in the bank, and you're not willing to invest it? See, you're not willing to put your back against the wall, and you have an unhealthy attachment with the money that you have, and you're like this person right here. You think you're winning, but really this other person is passing you because they're doubling down the extreme. And those are the people that win in entrepreneurship and in sales for a long period of time. You think because you got a little bit of money in the bank and you're comfortable that that's going to get you the win. It's not. It's not. I want you to write that word down, okay? You need some new knowledge. You need new inspiration. You need to be around somebody that's been where you want to go, that can look back and show you exactly the things that you keep missing. That's why Jose joined my private coaching, okay? Focus. Stay focused until the deal is truly closed, until the month is truly closed. If you're a leader on this call, you have to keep your team focused until the very end. And in fact, I like to keep my team focused a day or two after the end of the month so they learn subconsciously to run through the line. If you're in sports, I used to hate it when I was coaching a team or something and the team would stop before the line or not run through it. If you're ever on a run with me in the Lions, then I will make you run. Like, I'll say a target, I'll say, hey, you got to run to, we're on a 3-mile run, you're struggling on the run, and I set a 30-yard target, and I'm pushing you to this 30-yard target, and I say, hey, you can stop at the palm tree, we're going to walk 10 yards, and then you're going to run another 30 yards. I always break things down into small chunks for people. And I will not let you not run through the target that I set. You always have to run through the target. So in sales, if I was going to sell 30 cars, I made sure I sold 31 or 32. Sometimes there's rollbacks. Sometimes there's things that happen. I wanted to be further along than my target. Ed Milet, when he wrote the book, The Power of One More, it's so true. Do you do one more rep at the gym? Do you do one more sales call? It's like just getting in the habit of doing a little bit extra. The winners, they just do 5 or 10% extra in a lot of different categories than the losers. They're not just up tremendously earlier than you. They're up 30 minutes earlier than you. Maybe an hour. If you're up at 5, they're usually up at 4:30, right? If you do 50 calls, they usually did 75 calls, and they were probably a little bit higher quality. They walk a little faster. They talk a little bit faster. They implement shit faster on this call. That's what they do. They're just a little bit quicker. And I don't care what level you're at right now. Can you challenge yourself to stay focused and just go a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more? And what will happen is you'll develop this skill of discipline on going further than you have to, and you'll always start to beat everybody. And then what will happen is when people start the month and they look at you, they look at your business, they already know what you're willing to do is further than you even thought you could do, which is way further than what they think they can do themselves because they're not on these calls pushing themselves. You guys feel me? Say aye if you feel me. Say stay focused. Okay, shake it off. Say stay focused. Come on, let me see some guns. Say stay focused. Come on. Yeah, is it Peter? P-T-E-R. P-T-R. What is that name? I don't know how do I say that? I don't know what that is. David, there we go. All right, stay focused. Stay focused, guys. Stay focused on these calls. Stay locked in, right? These last 3 tips could be the tips that you're missing, okay? And I want you at the end of this to write down 1 or 2 mistakes, and you're just going to focus on 1 or 2. Like, you don't need to change your whole thing. Just focus on 1 or 2 little mistakes, and let's just fix those, okay? Okay, number 7, the mistake of disagreeing too much. Find common ground. Don't disagree for just the sake of it. Too much disagreement can alienate your client. Find areas of agreement to build rapport. Focus on building rapport first. Disagreements come later when you build trust. Okay, think about this at Disneyland for a second. They don't say I can't. They don't say I won't. They don't say no. They don't say no. It's like a rule. Selena went down to Disneyland, and she went through this course. And what happens in Disneyland, if you got a kid that's too small to ride the ride, instead of telling them no, they can't ride the ride, listen to this. Instead of them saying, no, you're too small to ride the ride, just like they do at every place, in Disneyland, they have one of the people walk over, and they have a little ticket, and they get down on one knee so that they're at the same level as the kid, not standing over them, intimidating. They get down on one knee, and they hand them the ticket, and they say this. They say, hey, and they don't say, no, you can't get on the ride. They say, they give them a positive compliment. They make them feel special. They hand them a little Disney pin. They tell them, what they see in them. And then here's what they tell them. They say, hey, when you're old enough to ride, or when you're old enough, right when you get to the right height that you can ride this ride, I'm giving you a free ticket for you to be able to skip the line and go right to the front of the line. That's the difference in Disneyland. They do that shit at Six Flags. They're like, no, get your ass out of here. You ain't coming back. We don't need you. They're like, damn, bro. So find some different ways to not disagree with your client. Imagine, guys, I'm at this gym, and this video went viral on like TikTok or something. But I'm at this gym, and this guy's like, hey, my computer's down. I can't let you into the gym. And I'm like, well, I was looking for a 3-day pass. I'm going to be there for 3 days. And he was finding a problem with everything. Like, it was like, no, we can't do that. No, we can't do that. No, we can't do that. And I said, hey, wait, bro. Can we find a solution? Like, is this a family-owned business? Yeah. I'm like, how many people come in here every day? He's like, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30. And I said, okay, and how many of them pay for day passes? He's like, man, maybe like 6 or 7 of them. I go, so by you right now, if you can't allow those 6 or 7 people to come in the gym, and that's $75 a person, that's costing you guys quite a bit of revenue. What if I give you my card and you just take the information down, you write my phone number down, and you have the owner call me tonight? I'm sure he would want the next 75. I'm sure he'd want that next $400 or $500 for the day. And if your computers are messed up tomorrow, but then your clients are happy, I'll fill out the little form. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm just coming in to work out in the gym. But can we find that can we make a solution? Do we got to talk about the problem? Like, I'm fired up. I took my pre-workout. I'm excited. Maybe we could even do this. I'll even give you a Google review for being a person that gives good solutions. Right? Do you think that's going to make your gym owner more proud of you that you found a solution? Or do you think that's going to, hurt the business by you not being able to find solutions but always looking for the problems? How many people in businesses, they can't see around the corner? It's like a skill. Like, see around the corner. The skill of anticipation. If you know that there's going to be a problem in the business, do you focus on it or do you figure out ways to solve them? Right? I'm always figuring out ways to solve them for my clients versus telling them a lot of no's. Okay? That's just how I am. I'm a solution person. I'm a solution-oriented person. Mistake number 8, not leading the clients. Lead your client. Be the expert that they need. Look, man, clients look to you for guidance. Don't be passive. Lead them to the best decision. It would be like being a doctor and walking in and not being able to ask good questions about why their elbow hurts, and then you diagnosing their knee as the problem. Stupid. Like, that'd be crazy. You need to lead them. You need to be able to paint pictures and tell stories why you can solve that knee problem. But if you can't lead them, if you can't be a leader, and you can't adjust your identity to become a leader and to believe that you're a leader, and you just believe that you're a salesperson and you're just selling, you're not serving and you're not leading, you'll never be able to win long term in this game. Okay? The 2 most important skills that I think you can have in the world is sales and leadership. And for most of you guys, that's all I would be studying. I'd be putting down all the passive income bullshit, this, that, the other, and master the 2 skills that are going to make you a lot more money in your active income, and then start mastering that once you've made some big money and you got a lot of money where you can invest. I used to confuse myself early on, and I would study all this shit. And once Andy sat me down and said, dude, you just need to become a master of sales. You need to become a master of sales. You need to understand that most people in the first 5 years of their business, they don't get rich, they just get good. If you can become good at your craft, I want you to think about this for a second. If you can become good, if you can become great, if you can become unstoppable in sales, and you become that in leadership, you're going to have money raining on you where you're going to be forced to find somebody that can teach you how to invest all that money. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm fine now. I hired my CFO. I've got Sawyer Monson. If you ever need an investment guy, I've got him. He takes care of that stuff for me. Like, I put my energy in these guys who know what they're doing on that side, and I do what I'm good at, which produces the active income, and then I can do my real estate stuff and my other stuff. But if you never take control of the customer and you're never ever to guide them to make the right choice, you're never going to be able to have those opportunities to create more freedom in your life. You guys feel me? Say I if you feel me. Okay? Say focus on your active income. Okay? I think one of the biggest mistakes right now on Instagram, Twitter, all this bullshit is a lot of people confusing people like, hey, why don't you start this ATM business? Why don't you start this? Why don't you start this business? It's like, hey, why don't you just focus on the shit that you're in right now and get really good at it? How about that? Like, why don't we just slow down? Why don't you become so damn good at what you do right now that everybody looks to you as the expert and the person for guidance? And then you can do whatever the hell you want. Make sense, everybody? Okay, and I'm not saying don't skill stack and learn new skills. I'm just saying don't get confused. Sales and leadership in this community will help you be able to finally get that. And if you go all in on sales and leadership for about 2 years, I really feel like, dude, the level of freedom that you can create once you become this new person and you create this new identity, you'll literally look up and you won't even believe the life that you have. Okay? Number 9. Okay? I got a big problem with this one. Not going to lie, Jose. Okay? Not going to lie. Okay? Talking too much. The 80-20 rule. Lead your clients. Be the expert they need, but listen to them. Listen. Let the client do 80% of the talking. The more they talk, the more information you gather to close the deal. Okay? If your clients aren't talking enough and you're doing all the jibber jabber and you're not listening to them, you're never going to win. I had a client that came in here to do a sit down with Andy, and he wanted to learn all he needed to do to grow his business. And he's sitting there with Andy Elliott. He paid $25,000 for a one-on-one with him, for a whole little morning with Andy. And the entire time that guy talked, Andy probably got 10, 15 words in. Andy Elliott. Andy loves talking. If you just shut up and listen, he'll give you everything that you need to win. By the end of the conversation, I'm just like, I looked at Andy, I'm like, dude, there's no way that guy's going to go to the next level because he's so obsessed with himself. Like, he's so obsessed with telling all these stories about what he used to do 2 years ago, 5 years ago. He lives so deep in the past. It's like the guy that talks about being a stud on the football team in high school. Bro, nobody cares. You peaked 15 years ago. Wake up. Wake up. Like, if you're not scaling in your life and you're talking about all the shit you did 5 years ago, just know you're going to lose the people around you because they don't care. They don't care. You're going to sleep on a win. You went to sleep on a win 10 years ago, and that's why you keep waking up with the loss, and you don't even realize it. So if you're one of those people, knock it off. But let the client do 80% of the talking. Talking too much makes them feel like you're missing stuff. It makes them feel like you're missing the valuable insights that they need to help them. David, when you're asking good questions and you're getting good stuff out of them, they will feel heard. I want to explain something to you. Here's a secret with any significant other, whether it's your husband, your wife, your kids, all they want to do is feel heard. Everybody say, don't talk past the close. You get the close, you handle the objection, you put it to bed, you isolated it, you put it to bed, your rapport's great. Go for the sale, man. Shut up. Okay? Stop talking past the close. Stop doing that with your friends, your family, your wife. Stop trying to solve everybody's problem. Just listen to what they said. Give them a good response back, a tactical response that makes them feel like you're listening. Sometimes even just letting them talk. You ever just been in an argument with your wife and you just let her go at it for 15, 20 minutes and then you look up and she's like, man, I feel better. Thank you, babe. And you're like, you're welcome. You didn't say anything. Okay? Some people just need to feel heard, man. And a lot of the times it's your clients, especially if you're in coaching or selling like a service like mine. Sometimes you just need to let people talk and then they can actually unfuck their own problems. I'm like, I got a client the other day, he's talking about his marriage problems with his wife, and I'm like, I just let him go. And he's talking, and he finally starts going down this rabbit hole. I'm like, so why would you tell her that? Why would you do this? I'm just asking why questions. And he's like, man, I don't know. I felt like I was in a bad mood. I was just being an asshole. I was doing this. I wasn't doing this. And I'm just like, he talks about it for 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, what would you do differently on the next time? He's like, man, I should have did this. And he just starts going deep down it. And I'm like, good. You just solved your own problems. What do you need me for? He's like, man, you're good. I'm like, no, you just got to learn that most of the answers are right there up in your head, but you're not following your gut and your intuition, and your fucking ego is taking over. And you're so ready to fight and get triggered. Put your ego down, self-assess, shut up for a second, listen to your clients, listen to your family, listen to your friends, and then help them make a decision. It's really simple. Okay? Ask open-ended questions and listen carefully to uncover their true needs. Take a picture of that. Okay? Do some work in your industry. Literally Google 4 questions in my industry that would be open-ended questions to get the client to talk about themselves. You could literally Google that right now. 4 questions in my industry that would be good open-ended questions to get my client to talk more about themselves and discover their true need. Just fucking Google it. Okay? If you find a problem that you have, maybe it's your identity, Google it. Don't Google any sickness that you have. Don't wake up sick and if you have a sore throat and a headache, don't Google that shit. You'll feel like you have cancer. You'll be calling me like, dude, I got cancer. Bro, you don't. You're fine. I got this. I got that. No, you don't. Just chill, bro. You're on WebMD. It doesn't make sense. Mistake number 10, and our last one, not knowing the client's options. Know their options. Be knowledgeable be an expert of what they could buy, what else is on the market. Know what your clients are comparing to. Understand their alternatives and make your pitch stronger. If a client is looking at other options, know them inside out and show why you are a better choice. Okay? Ask about the options early on in the conversation to tailor it to your approach. Example, if I'm in the car business, somebody walks in and they want to see a Nissan Altima. I'm like, so great, Mr. Customer. Most of my customers, they usually do, like, I think the average is like 12 to 18 hours worth of research before they got here. How much did you do? They're like, I looked at this. Yeah, you probably looked at a bunch of cars online. What made you settle on the Altima? Okay? Is there any other cars you're comparing it to? Is there any other dealers that you've talked to? Have you been to any other dealers today? Man, you'd be surprised when I would ask customers that, and they're like, yeah, I was just over at, the Toyota store around the clock, or around the lot. They're pieces of shit. They said this, they said that. I didn't like the way they handled this. Their manager came out and talked to me and said this. Meanwhile, my manager's about to come out and say the same thing. But I asked the question early on, and then I can run over to my manager. Hey, they just told me these 4 things happened. It's very similar to our sales process. Let's not do these 4 things. Right? And I can help the customer. So, like, some of those good questions. Like, have you been comparing this thing? How long have you guys been in the market looking for this product? Have you ever invested money in this particular type of service or product before? If so, how much? How'd you like it? What'd you not like about it? Right? Like, those are good things to ask, because then you can structure the way you sell and your approach to what the client is looking for. Okay? And that's how you become a chameleon. That's how you become somebody who they really feel like it's powerful. Okay? So, actionable takeaways. Guys, let's recap. Qualify the prospects. Focus on your client, not commissions. Ask tough questions. Elevate yourself and deliver on promises. Action number 2, I want you to take a picture or a screenshot. Practice these steps consistently. Close more deals. Build long-lasting relationships with your clients. Super important, Paul Sharp. Okay? Sales isn't just a job. It's a skill that transcends into every area of life. Master these fundamentals and you'll excel not just in sales, but in communication and relationships. Okay? Really, that's all I got for you guys. I just want to thank you guys for joining. If that was your first call, go on ahead and drop a badass fire emoji, or I'm kicking you out of the community because I want to feel good. No, I'm just kidding. Okay? I want to thank you guys. Listen, man, the community that we've built on this school platform is unlike any other school community. I bought almost every single one because I want to see what people do good and what they don't do. We are going to deliver things that you guys have never seen before. We have some cool meetups that are getting ready to come up. We did offer now one-on-ones with me and my brother, Mike Kiwarga. If you want to do something like that, Mike can do those for you. I'll give you his cell phone number if you ever want to go deeper. That's for people that are serious. Understand, Mike's number is 507-848-3669. Okay? We are going to do some special meetups specifically for school. We'll release those dates soon. Stay committed, Corey, Jason, Kara, okay, David, Ted, all of you guys. Figure out the missing structure that you need from what we just talked about. And then go back and implement it faster than anybody else. Like, just change a couple little things. Most of you guys don't need a full-blown transformation. I don't care how messed up you think you are. All you need is just make one or 2 little enhancements, okay? Protect your energy. Protect your families. Become a little tougher. Don't be soft, okay? Don't be a little softy. Don't be a little crybaby that cries everything sometimes something don't go wrong. Right, okay? Nobody cares about your little bitch-ass feelings, okay? I'm sorry to end it like this, okay? But it's the truth, right? It's the truth. And that's why you're here, okay? This is going to be something that will always change your life, coming to these calls. What you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. So put everything into this community. Network with each other. Share numbers with each other in DMs. You're not back at home. You don't have a lot of people that you can run with. You can run with everybody on here. We all have the same core values. We all have the same beliefs. We're all so different. Like, what's her name's in freaking India? I can't even say her damn name. I hate it because I see it every time. What is it?
I've got a pseudo name that's called Sam.
What is it?
People call me Sam here.
Oh, damn, Sam. Come on, Sam. See, she's all the way in India, guys. This is crazy. Like, we have such a good network. Protect each other. Take good care of each other. Protect the team. Protect the Elliott group. Let's go to the next level. Let's ride together for the next couple of years. I want to do it forever, but I just don't want to scare you guys. Like, I'll make a blood commitment right now. Okay, hold on. Everybody make your blood commitment. Let me put that on the internet. They'll love that. They already call us a cult. Cool. I love it. Yeah, a cult for success. A cult for getting jacked up. A cult for staying around positive people, right? A cult means culture for everything that we do that's right. For living at a level of personal excellence that inspires other people to go live there. Yeah, damn right. Damn right. And we love it. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And we're going to make more money. We're going to get in better shape. It's okay to make money. It's okay to get in good shape. It's okay to talk well. It's okay to be good to the people around you. It's okay to have a big spiritual belief. It's okay. And if people think you're weird for that, good. Everybody say fuck them. Okay. All right, let's go. And if you don't curse, just say forget them. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Let's go get it. See you guys. See you guys. Oh, sorry.